Brian, you can have this one. Frank Costa. Should we go for a marquee signing in the summer, thinking Robinho type of signing for City when they broke into the super club status up the Villa?
I don't think we need a Robinho type of player because we've already got one in Super Jack. That's our star quality man. And for every Robinho Man City brought, they bought 10 Benjanis. You know.
So hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. So as you saw in the intro, Ryan's wish for 10 Benjanis. We've definitely brought in the one Benjani today. He's sitting alongside Ryan for the start of this podcast. So we're buzzing to have him on board today. But if you are new, please subscribe. And if you do watch us and you're not subscribed, subscribe because you'll just help us grow and reach all of our goals. So, normal format, we're going to touch over the City preview. We're going to talk about the questions from the viewers and listeners. But to start with, we're going to talk about this European Super League breakaway, which is a massive bombshell that's just rocked the world of football today. So, for anyone that doesn't understand, 5 to 6 teams from the Premier League are going to break away and start their own new league with European giants from across Europe as well. For me, it's absolutely pathetic. It's a joke. It just stinks of just rotten, dirty money, really. Football fans across the country, life and soul, heart of every community, football club, everything to do with football is all about the fans for me. It's what this podcast's about. And this just absolutely stinks of greedy owners just wanting to rule the world. And it's just shocking, really. But obviously, as everything's progressing, there's more and more revelations coming out. The Premier League aren't standing for it. The FA aren't standing for it. So hopefully it's just going to make these clubs just look absolutely ridiculous. And hopefully there is some punishment for them, because I think to do it during a season as well, it's just a joke. So we'll just touch on what the FA have said, and I commend them for coming out and being so bold and just coming out straight away with it. So the FA have said the FA will continue to work with UEFA, FIFA and the Premier League to seek and ensure that nothing is approved that has the potential to damage English football. We will work with the fans, the Premier League, the EFL, the PFA, the LMA, as well as other stakeholders at home and abroad to defend the integrity of the future prospects of English football in the best interests of the game. Massive statement. And then this is something that the Premier League came out with as well. Fans of any football club in England and across Europe can currently dream that their team may climb to the top and play against the best. We believe that the concept of the European Super League would destroy this dream. Terrible. Justin, what are you saying?
Yeah, as you can see, I've worn this top, especially after this break tonight, because this shows what every single club in this country can aspire to. There's a ladder of football. There's a hierarchy. There's a way that we've done it. Founding members Villa were very proud of that. 100 years of history in this country. The fans are the lifeblood of this of football, aren't they? As we all are doing this. What they've come out with today, these 6 clubs, is nothing short of disgusting. Obviously, it's breaking today. We're just touching on it now. What's weird about it is 4 out of the 6 clubs aren't even currently in the top 4 of the Premier League. So how they think they've got the brass neck to go and form another league, it's just beyond me. Unfortunately, it's owners that don't care. All they're bothered about is the money. Money in football is something that rankles with me, and that's done for a very, very, very long time. It's out of control. It's been out of control for a very long time. This is just where it's been heading for a very long time. It's probably the umpteenth time it's been attempted. This one today came out of nowhere, and it seems to have got some legs. We'll yet to see how far it'll get. From what the initial reaction with everybody, fans, I'm really hoping it'll be stamped down on very, very quickly. Gary Neville, I've never been the biggest fan of Gary Neville, but he was absolutely sensational tonight on Sky after the game. What he said spoke for every fan, really, and he was saying it about his own club, Man United, who he's won everything with. It's disgusting. It's money grabbing. Coming at the time, and it's come up as well, given that we're through a pandemic that has almost destroyed football. It beggars belief that these owners have got the balls to even attempt to do it. So, we are awaiting a statement from these 5 or 6 clubs. So we'll see what they've got to say for themselves. But quite frankly, if they want to go, let them go. This country and these, the clubs in this country and the fans in this country will survive without them. I don't care how big they think they are. We will survive without them because football is the lifeblood of this country. So if they want to go, tell them they can go, but they'll never come back. That's how I would deal with it. So, it really annoyed me. Really, really annoyed me.
I mean, I can't think who it was that someone commented saying that Arsenal have just drew to Fulham 1-1. It's just a joke.
Beggars belief.
I just really don't get it. Ryan, do you want to touch on anything?
I've seen a photo on Twitter that was doing the rounds of a banner in a ground, and it said football created by the poor, stolen by the rich. And I think today that has never rang so true. And I think if you're one of the fans that support that club, you're going to be gutted, aren't you? You're going to be raging. We're raging. It's not really involving us too much at the minute, but the fans of their clubs definitely. And to me, though, it's like six teams there, English teams. Then you've got Italian teams and Madrid and Barca thrown in. So it's basically the Anglo-Italian Cup with flipping Madrid and Barca. It's shocking that it's come to this. And it's basically just a league that's being funded by investment banks to get people invested and make them money. It's just pure greed. The likes of Arsenal and Spurs and Chelsea, Man City, we've got the same amount of European Cups as them. Nottingham Forest have got more, so it's shocking. If they want to go and play in a league where there's no competition, one winner a year, no relegation, you've got that same 12 teams, season in, season out, week in, week out. Your games will probably end up going abroad as well, some of them. You'll probably go off to Dubai or wherever, China, and, let them go. And I think there should be some sort of punishment this season as well.
Yeah,
just for having the audacity about it. So let's get them points deducted and get back on the European push.
Mate, dust off that passport. Karen, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's just the arrogance, the money. It perpetuates trying to increase that gap between the classes, not just with fans, but with football owners and clubs. I mean, it's such a big gulf between Premier League and Championship clubs for the rest of the teams to actually then excel that even more into Europe and to try and have some sort of American system where there's no pyramid system. Football's been built on a pyramid system, right? Like you rightly said earlier, everyone aspires to get to the top. Everyone aspires to try and be the best. And you have magical moments like when Leicester won the league, for example, or when Blackburn did it, in the 90s. These things are not going to happen with this Super League. And I'm actually really interested to find out what the fans actually think of these clubs, Liverpool fans and Spurs fans and Man United fans, they're real fans of clubs with, history. And I'm sure that they're pretty disgusted as well.
I think it's, with those clubs, I feel like you've got two different sets of fans. You've got the fans like Villa fans who travel up and down the country. You've got the hardcore fans that go to all of the games. And then remember when you was at school, you'd got your mates who are United fans but never go to the games. And
the glory hunters, right? The glory hunters.
Probably those type of fans would probably be all over it because it doesn't affect them, does it? It's just like them just watching any type of football match. So
yeah, but then even so, like some of the kind of derby matches or these kind of things, they're not really going to be in the same, the same oomph, the same vibe, the same rivalry with some of these matches. I know that Liverpool and Man U are going and Chelsea and Spurs have put their name forward and Arsenal as well. But, even things like West Ham versus Chelsea is a tasty game. Do you know what I mean?
Well, look at Liverpool versus Everton. You're just going to wipe all that. Never play Everton again.
That's it. Yeah.
Have an odd pre-season game. Nah.
It'll be interesting to see the appetite of the players, because it sounds like that if this say did go ahead, that it sounds like that any player that would play in this new Super League would automatically give up the right to ever play international football again. So if these are basically 12 of the best teams in Europe, they're going to be littered with international footballers who are basically going to have to choose whether they're going to give up their international careers overnight. So let's see what appetite they've got going. If that's in the case, we'll soon see if their love of playing football is more important than love of earning money, won't it?
I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it will happen
I hope not. I hope not as
well. But I mean, what actually needs to happen for it to progress? What actually needs to happen now? I mean, these clubs have said that they're up for it and they put their names forward. But what actually needs to?
Well, I would think that to get to the point they've got to today, when they're releasing statements, you would think that they would be fairly confident that they've got something they can move on with. Otherwise, they wouldn't even have released a statement today. So, by all accounts, while we're recording this, within the next hour, apparently they're releasing a statement. And what Gary Neville was saying, the response that they've had so far, they could very quickly be backtracking on that statement. So, this next statement from the clubs will be very interesting to see how serious they are about doing it. So within 24 hours, I think we'll probably get our answer, how viable this is actually going to happen, and or is it just going to collapse like the other 2 or 3 attempts that have happened over the last few years?
I think they need to hit the delete button quick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's move on. Aston Villa are coming up against one of the clubs in question, the club that's sitting top of the league, which is probably going to win the Premier League. For me, the best team in the league. They've had a really good season. They've got talent up and down that pitch as well. For me, one player that this season who I think is absolutely fantastic, probably one of my favourite players in the Premier League, is Phil Foden. Scored 6 goals, 5 assists. He's had a real good season. Hopefully he can continue that on for England. We're coming up against another striker that absolutely loves playing against Aston Villa, Aguero. So last time we're going to be playing against him in a City shirt, so I'll be glad to see the back of him when he leaves. And another player which has had a bit of a dodgy one this season is Sterling. He's had his worst goal-scoring season in the last 3 years. He's probably going to bag one against us. You know what it's like. City have lost, the last 2 games. So, Ryan, what are your thoughts heading into this one?
Yeah, before the weekend, I had a look at their fixtures, and I actually thought this could be a good time to catch them, because obviously they've got the FA Cup semi-final, they was going for the quadruple, they've got their annual League Cup final next week, and then they've got the Champions League semi-final, and us crammed in the middle. But their squad is immense, isn't it? It doesn't matter if they take the whole 11 out and put another 11 in. They are quality. There's quality all over the pitch. Phil Foden, he's been... he ripped us to pieces in the Carabao Cup final last season, and he hasn't looked back since then. He had to wait for his chance. Pep kept the reins on him. All the City fans, they wanted him in the team or they wanted him out on loan, but Pep kept him close, kept him in the first team and kept him chomping at the bit. And this season he's unleashed him and he's been terrific, absolutely terrific. And like you say, yeah, it's not going to surprise me if Sterling scores and Aguero scores a goodbye hat-trick, but... yeah, that would just be standard Villa, wouldn't it?
Definitely. Kay, what are your thoughts going into this game?
Again, I mean, they are going to be the champions, right? Other than the last 2 games where they've lost, they're arguably the most informed team in Europe. However, if we're going to play them, this is the best time to play them, right? We haven't really got anything to play for other than trying to just finish as high as possible. We're not battling relegation. We're not really going to get into Europe. So we can approach this game relaxed. Kevin De Bruyne is out injured recently in the last game. Sterling's off form. Aguero's older, right? So I think if we're going to play them with their congested fixture list, this is the best time to play them, I think. And we're at home. Not that we've got the fans, but still, it's an advantage. No need to travel to Manchester. So I am obviously expecting an onslaught in that regard because we haven't been playing that great ourselves. But I do think that this is the best time we can play them. So let's just get the game over and done with, really. I am optimistic. I don't want to say that we're going to get a pasting, but it is going to be difficult because Pep has got such an elite squad there. I mean, if anyone plays fantasy football, you get frustrated if you have any Man City player in your team because he makes about 5 or 6 changes every game. So it gets frustrated because your player's sitting on the bench when you thought he's going to play. But I think their standout player for me this season has been Gundogan. Especially in that first half of the season, the amount of goals that he was getting from midfield, just coming in late into the box. And he's been a real driver in the middle of the park for them. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne has had the best season, to be honest. He's been a bit stop-start this season. He's had a few niggling injuries and stuff, but I think in the middle of the park, Gundogan has been their man. Whilst Phil Foden's taken all the plaudits because he's got the flair, he's young, he's English, broken into the England team, etc. I think Gundogan is the main man in the middle of the park. You know, he's everything that we want John McGinn to be. I think Ilkay Gundogan, and he's just a world-class box-to-box midfielder. So he's the guy that I think we need to kind of stop from playing.
His quality. I mean, I don't know where I've been, but I've only just finished watching All or Nothing, the Man City documentary, and just seeing how Pep works. He's just quality. Justin, what are your thoughts on it?
To be honest, I've been up and down about this game because we've had a long time to think about it, haven't we? You know, 1 minute I'm thinking, just dreading it with the form we're in and, you know, the potential that they've got. But I have watched the last 2 games that they've played in, and they've been, well, say they weren't even poor against Leeds, were they? They were just rubbish in front of goal, weren't they? 29 shots, and Leeds had 2. That was just one of them games. But they did lose it, so that was a bit of a knock, and it did seem to have an effect on them yesterday in the semi-final. So, yeah, you know, is it ever a good time to play Man City? I don't know. But I think we've just got to go into it very positively. Why not? You know, we've only got a few games left of the season. Like we've said, we've got nothing particularly to worry about as far as the season goes. We're not in a terrible position. We would all like to win a few more games and to climb those 2 or 3 maybe more places up. So that's great. We have got a few injuries and we aren't in good form. So, you know, there's lots of negatives, but there's a few positives, hopefully, that we can actually go and not play without any fear, hopefully, you know, do maybe what Leeds did and just have a go at them. You know, like I say, we're at home. We can try and take it to them if we can without trying to leave the back door open. Our back 5 is our strength at the moment. So if we can keep them quiet, why not? Nick a goal. You know, Ollie Watkins has done us proud this season in many games when he's nicked a goal out of nothing. So why not go and get a win? Why can't we be the 13th to beat them in a trot? You know, let's try and be positive. You know, we all know we can get a good tatering off them because that's what they do to teams occasionally. Sterling looks like a pub player at the moment. Phil Foden is my worry. I do agree with Kay that Gundogan's had a great season, but Phil Foden is just different level. I mean, you know, he is a phenomenal footballer. We've had a chat about the England squad a few weeks ago. And for me, I'd be building the England team around 3 players, and that would be Grealish, Foden and Bellingham. You know, 3 of the best quality, talented English footballers to come through in a very, very, very long time. So, yeah, Man City, huge game and a big task ahead. Let's hope we're up to it.
Like you say, Foden, quality, but Bellingham for Dortmund, you know, over those 2 legs, really showed for me.
17 years of age. 17. I still have to keep pinching myself when I watch him play. 17.
He's unbelievable. So we'll go to some of the questions. I'll fire these round. This is off Luke FD on Twitter. He's put, coming off the back of the Liverpool game, do you think we can get top 10 without Jack Grealish? I mean, these season aspirations now seem to be getting lower and lower, don't they? You know, a couple of weeks ago it was, can we get top 10? Now it's top 7. Now we're looking at top 10. Got to get top 10 off this season for me. Got to. Ryan?
Realistically, it's probably only Wolves that could probably catch us. Looking at the games we've got left, hopefully we beat the Baggies 3 points there. We've got a few home games left, haven't we? So we should be looking at trying to overtake Leeds definitely, and Arsenal. So I'm looking at 8th place for us.
I think that result for Newcastle against West Ham all but I think confirms the bottom three are down for me now. I can't see any of them getting out of it. So hopefully we can do the baggies over and send them down. So this one's for Kay. I know he's a massive Marvellous fan. This is off Razor. Does Marvellous start against Man City?
Yes, it does. I think they like to play sometimes with a false nine. If Aguero's not fit, Jesus hasn't really been cutting the mustard for them. Sometimes they play Bernardo Silva as a false nine or Sterling. So really the key is packing out that midfield. And we really need to pack it out. And having Marvellous at the base of that midfield, I think will allow more attacking players to be sitting just in front of him and packing out the middle of the park there to try and stop them from retaining possession. The way that Chelsea dealt with Man City yesterday was absolutely spot on. Thomas Tuchel got his tactics spot on there. It was pressing them high. They couldn't really get out their own half. I mean, it was really refreshing to see Manchester City losing possession so frequently in a match because it doesn't normally happen. So I'm not saying that we're going to be able to do that, but that is an area that I've seen that we could potentially get at them. So I absolutely think that Marvellous should start.
Great stuff. This one's off Craig. Who will finish higher, Villa or Wolves? Justin?
Villa, obviously, all day long. Yeah, I know we've got a few tricky fixtures coming up, but they look awful, don't they, Wolves? They're just scraping results at the moment. I know we haven't done that much better recently, but yeah, I'm confident we can finish at the very least 10th now. I think we've just got to be satisfied. With the season we have, I'm choosing now to be satisfied with my season, with our season. I'm choosing to be happy with our season. I think we've accomplished everything we set out for at the start of the season. We've all said that we're a bit disappointed with how it's gone recently, but for me, it's job done this season. Hopefully, we can, cruise into the end of the season with a few decent wins and some nice performances and some good goals, and get Jack fit and ready to go for next season. But I think overall, we've said it all along. I'm more than happy with the season we've had. If we could nick a point against Man City, hopefully tomorrow, Wednesday, that'd be even better. Dream of a win. Who knows? Albion, hopefully we can stomp them, and then push on for the rest of the season. But yeah, I think it's 10th at least for me would be where I think we'll finish now.
Wouldn't mind a cheeky iron win against Man United as well. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
every season that I just want to beat him. You just got to beat him.
Nice, wouldn't it? Just once.
Well, yeah, considering they might not be in the league next season, so.
Yeah. Last chance.
Last chance to do them over. So we'll go around now. We'll have some score predictions. I'm just going to sit on a fence. I'm just going to say 1-1. Ryan?
Yeah, exactly the same, mate. 1-1.
The lost won't come out my mouth.
No, not me. Never, ever.
That's exactly the same. I was going to say 1-1. I just can't predict my team losing. There's just something in my heart. I just can't do it. And I would have gone for 0-0, but I think that there might be a couple of goals in it. So yeah, 1-1.
Justin?
I hate predicting Villa to lose, and I'll never do it. Even if I think it'll happen, I'll never do it. So I'm going to predict, get your money on it, a 1-0 smash and grab Villa win.
Who's the goal scorer?
Yeah. Ollie Watkins.
Buzzing. So I hope you like this episode. We just touched on a little bit of what's going on in the world of football, giving our thoughts on it, and then previewing a bit of the game against City. So thanks for watching, and subscribe. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.